Hey everybody, it's Preston here, aka Godzilla Honk, and I figured I'd do this little video here. I know AEW Dynamite's on in about half hour from now, but I figured I'd give my thoughts about the G1 Climax number 30, the 30th anniversary of the G1 Climax. They just revealed the A and B block for this tournament, which I believe begins starting on the 18th, I believe they said. I think the 18th or the 19th is when the G1 Climax starts this year. So it'll be next weekend. Obviously, a lot of reasons. First of all, because of this whole coronavirus situation, there have been some talent that have been missing from New Japan. Obviously, that's why if you watch like New Japan, you notice the Bullet Club, there's not really that many members. And they got Evil and Dit Togo involved. We haven't seen JY or Tamatonga, Tangaloa, Chase Owens, Alpha Tasma, those guys. So, I was kind of curious seeing what they were going to do for the G1 this year. And, well, I'm going to say this honestly, this might be the most stacked G1 Climax right now. And it's the 30th anniversary, so you gotta expect to give it all. It's the 30th anniversary of the G1 Climax. You're gonna have to give it all. Give us the best matches, the most unpredictable G1. With the talent they have here, it's really hard, especially for any block. I have a few predictions here on who I think is going to win, but one of the problems is most of my predictions are in Block A. So for those of you very quickly that are new to New Japan, every year New Japan Pro Wrestling has this league tournament that goes on at least stretch for weeks called the G1 Climax, where the winner receives a World Heavyweight Championship match in the main event of the Tokyo Dome, which is Wrestle Kingdom, which is basically their WrestleMania, their biggest show of the year. So it's a huge event. They actually get the main event and headline the show. For the most part, there was that one time they didn't main event, but that was controversial. But so basically, you have 10 wrestlers on a block, and every wrestler has to fight each other and go through every single one. So both A and B, they have their own wrestlers they fight, and you have to fight all 9 other wrestlers in your block. Every victory is 2 points. So that could be pinfall, submission, counter, disqualification. You automatically get 2 points for each victory you have. And the person who gets the most points, the person with the most decisions, the most points in the block, advances to the finals. So they will be the finals of their respective block. Then we officially have the actual finals of the G1 tournament where the winner of A block faces the winner of B block. And the winner of that match goes on to fight for the heavyweight champ. The winner of that goes on to win the G1 Climax and get a briefcase. And in that briefcase contains a contract where you can fight for the heavyweight championship in the main event, Tokyo Dome. And you have to defend that briefcase once. So this is huge. This has been easily one of my all-time. I'll say right now, this is probably my favorite tournament ever. It's for anybody that's a wrestling fan, even if you're not a fan of New Japan. A lot of wrestlers, especially, look forward to the G1 because it's just competitive. You get to see these different styles of matches. You get to see dream matches you never thought of. The one thing I love about this, it's all guys in their primes. I mean, one of them's vague, a couple are vague kind of, but there's no like really old veterans. It's a lot of the guys who are still wrestling or who could still go, and you have a lot of unique matches here. So very quickly, before we get on kind of my predictions and thoughts, we're gonna go through A block. As you can see through the screen, you can see them here. So A block, we have last year's G1 Climax winner Kota Ibushi. We have Jeff Cobb. Yes, Jeff Cobb. Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi, never openweight champion Minoru Suzuki, one half of the IWGP Tag Team Champions Taichi, Bullet Club leader Switchblade Jay White, and Tokyo Pimp Yujiro Takahashi. B block, we have former Tag Team Champion Heavyweight Champion Hiroshi Tanahashi, and he won G1 back in 2018. We have former United States Champion Juice Robinson. We have 1/3 of the never openweight Tag Team Champions Hiroki Goto. We have King of Pro Wrestling inaugural champion. We have Yano. We have never openweight Tag Team Champion, 6-man never openweight Tag Team Champion Yoshihashi. IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion Tetsuya Naito. We have Sanada, the other half of the IWGP Tag Team Champions, Zack Sabre Jr. We have New Japan Cup USA winner, Kenta. And finally, the New Japan Cup winner, not USA, but the New Japan Cup winner overall, and former IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion, and Io Shirai's husband or fiance, Evil. So that's about. So I'm not going to lie. I did not expect 5 of these names. I did not expect Jeff Cobb. I did not expect Juice Robinson, Kenta, Jay White, or Ospreay to be in this one. A lot of these guys don't live in the United States. Well, or live in the United States. They don't live in Japan. Ospreay lives in Japan, but the only reason we haven't seen him is because he's been stuck in the UK. He visits, I guess, family there, and this all, while he was there, this is when the whole situation happened. They weren't able to travel. I believe Kenta lives in Orlando. Juice, I know, lives in the United States. Cobb lives in the United States. I think he lives in probably Texas or California. And Jay White, I'm not too sure where he lives. So I don't know if he lives in New Zealand. I don't know if he lives in the States either. I know it's not Japan. So when they announced these names, it was very interesting because I was kind of shocked, like, wow, they're actually letting these guys wrestle. So I think when it comes to these guys, I think a lot of them are going to have to do the quarantine where I believe they're going to be there. They're going to have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. So if I had to guess, they're probably there already. And hopefully by next week, when the tournament starts, they'll be self-quarantined. They should be good to go. They'll take precaution tests and everything should be fine. So as of right now, I think they're already there in Japan or are about to. I think the Kento thing for this Friday, I think that's taped. So I think they should be on their way to Japan then. And if that's the case, at least Will Ospreay will be there permanently because he lives in Japan. So we might be able to see him wrestle more often. But I want to give my thoughts about this very quick because this is very interesting. So A block is very stacked. I'm going to say right now, A block is the most stacked in terms of star power. B block's very good too, but A block has very interesting because 3 of my picks to win the whole G1 Climax are actually on A block. It was 2, but now with 1 surprise in there, it's apologize for the siren if you can hear it. Now there's 3. So, Kazuchika Okada is one of my predictions to win. Obviously, he's the face of the company right now. One of their biggest stars, multiple-time heavyweight champion, longest reigning heavyweight champion of all time. 2-time G1 Climax winner. I mean, you've always got to put Okada into the mix of everything. It's Okada. It'll be like if they did a giant tournament with John Cena or Roman Reigns, and you have to pick them. That they're obviously going to be a favorite. The other one is Shingo Takagi. I honestly believe Shingo Takagi could win this, realistically. I could see him winning. I can explain kind of why. And then my third pick, Jay White. Jay White is actually... Well, it was fine because Jay White was actually one of my way earlier picks for the G1 until this whole situation happened. In fact, I think Brandon even said too that Jay White was one of his predictions too to win. He was in the finals last year with Kota Ibushi. He almost won. He almost won the whole tournament. So I would not be surprised if they decide, you know what, we're going to go all the way with Jay White. I would not be surprised because Jay White has a lot of potential. They're clearly building this guy up to be the future of New Japan. I mean, why not? 30th anniversary, you give it to Jay White. Have him main event to Tokyo Dome. He might even become heavyweight champion. You may never know. We don't know. But my 3 picks are Okada, Shingo, and Jay White. And Okada, like I said, Okada, obvious reasons. He's a main event guy. He's always been a big match at the Tokyo Dome. He's always going to be a favorite. But Shingo Takagi is an interesting one. And I'll kind of explain. The reason why is I would say they more likely could go with him and Suzuki again at Wrestle Kingdom, which I would not complain. But Shingo has been slowly getting pushed. He's not been getting like every single championship, but he's been getting slowly pushed. He's clearly becoming a fan favorite. There's potential he could win the G1 and he could be fighting his leader, one of his mentors or one of his friends, who's heavyweight champion Naito. Those two had an excellent match at last year's G1, if you have not seen that. And they could play off that, have Naito main event against Shingo. I mean, again, we know how great of a match you can have for a heavyweight title, and we can even have Shingo even win. It could be almost like a passing the torch. So in terms of A block, Okada, Shingo, and Jay White are my top 3, just in general. The B block, this is the more interesting one because there's not really a whole lot of people that I can see realistically winning. But Hiroshi Tanahashi, again, multiple-time heavyweight champion. You can't always count him out. In fact, he won 2 years ago. He won 2018, defeated Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 13 for heavyweight title. So Tanahashi may be a little older, but don't always count him out either. So I would pick Tanahashi. Tetsuya Naito. I'm actually going to go with Tetsuya Naito as well. He is a heavyweight champion, yes. Some people may be confused, like, wait, why is a heavyweight champion in this tournament if the whole point of the tournament is to face the champion? Well, they clarified that if somehow the world champion wins the G1, they would get to pick their opponent for Wrestle Kingdom. They would get to choose. And with Naito how he is, I could see him winning his 3rd G1, and I can see him picking one of his own LIJ members of his group. I could see him maybe picking like a Shingo. I could see him picking one of my other picks I'll mention a little bit later. I could definitely see him kind of pick his own opponent too, and be kind of first person to win G1 as a world champion and get to pick his opponent. There are a couple more now to kind of think about. Sonata. Sonata is one of those guys that he's clearly the future. There's clearly something for him. They're just waiting for the right moment. He's one of my dark horses in this match. And even Naito, if you go watch the interviews backstage, Naito was one of the ones saying like, hey, I want to see Sonata in this G1. Put Sonata in here. This kind of goes back. I could see Naito winning the G1, but he picks Sonata to fight him at the Tokyo Dome. And maybe it's a possibility. It is a possibility. But Sonata can also win in a most shocking fashion. Sonata has always been that guy now that has that. He could be world champion. He could be a main event level star. They're just waiting for the right moment. And they just haven't pulled the trigger yet. Kenta. Now, Kenta's interesting. Kenta is a favorite in this tournament, but he is challenging for the IWGP United States Championship, so I don't know if he'll win. I know he's going to be fighting Jon Moxley for the U.S. belt soon. So if he doesn't win the U.S. title whenever that match happens, I could see Kenta not winning. Actually, think about it, I'm not going to pick Kenta. I'm scrapping. I'm not going to pick Kenta to win. Because I could even see him doing like Jon Moxley versus Kenta at the Tokyo Dome for the United States Championship. I think they might even do that. Because we don't know when Moxley will be able to cross over, and I don't think they want to risk Moxley crossing over if he's still AEW World Champion. So I think Kenta's not going to win now. I was kind of thinking Kenta, but if the whole U.S. title is how I think it's going to go down, they could try to wait until Wrestle Kingdom 15 and they could do Hideo Tama or Kenta versus Jon Moxley for U.S. title. I could see him doing that. But the other guy actually might be considered favorite would be Evil. Now, Evil was the former heavyweight champion, Intercontinental champion. You know, he was a Triple Crown champion. He held 3 titles at once this year. He won the New Japan Cup. He joined Bullet Club. He got people talking. I would not be surprised if they had Evil pull up a victory here and he wins. And he might fight his rival, former leader, Naito. I could see it happen again. It's realistic. They could have a third match. They could have a third match this year. And Evil and Naito could have main event again. It's very possible. I've always seen something Evil, but I never seen Evil as like a main event level guy. But Evil is a favorite. I would even put Evil as a favorite at this point. Kind of looking here, there's actually another guy I'm kind of thinking could win. Ibushi, Kobushi, last year's winner. I know he won last year, but he came so close to winning the title last year, and I'm still staying by this. I think if it weren't for this whole double champion shit, I guarantee I think Kobushi would have been Okada last year. I really think so, but they didn't. They wanted to go for the bigger match, and that was Naito and Okada and give Naito his moment, which is great, but at cost of Ibushi. Ibushi needs to be a fucking world champion. I'm so done with this. So kind of looking back on here, I'm going to say Kobushi, Okada, Shingo Takagi, Jay White, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Naito, Sanada, and Evil are my 8 favorites to win this tournament right now. Are my 8 are going to be I'm going to say those are my 8 predictions who I think are going to win. One of those guys. Now I'm going to do something interesting because I'm going to see if I can try and predict the finals. And overall, I think will win the entire thing. Again, this is hard. It'd be very interesting if they did Jay White and Evil. I'm just saying it would be very interesting seeing Jay White versus Evil. Because everyone was kind of clamoring that Evil was kind of new leader, Bullet Club, during Jay White's absence. They could tell a story there. Maybe they want to do Jay White and Evil. Maybe Bullet Club, supposed Bullet Club leader versus Bullet Club leader. There's some friction there. I mean, it's not that far-fetched. I mean, if they want to tell that story, that's a possibility. I could see Shingo Takagi versus Naito. Rematch from G1 last year, except it's the finals. Maybe have Shingo get a victory. And that propels it immediately already to the finals. That kind of thing. I could see Shingo Sanada, which LIJ member is going to get the shot against Naito. Again, I could see that. Kobushi, again, you could do Kobushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi in the finals. I could see that too. They were in the finals of G1 Climax back in 2018. That's a possibility. Do a rematch there. Ibushi and Naito, again, you can have them. They've had history. That's a possibility. Okada and Tanahashi, that is really one of the more obvious choices. I could honestly see him doing Okada Tanahashi, and if that's the case, I will be fucking mad. Because I'm so done with Okada and Tanahashi winning G1s. I'm so done with both of them being main events at Wrestle Kingdom. They've been doing this for over a decade. They've had Tanahashi and or Okada in the main event at Wrestle Kingdom. I want something different. So Okada Tanahashi is the last finals I want to see. Okada Evil again. It's something similar to like the New Japan Cup. It'd be interesting. Okada Sanada. Sanada's only got one victory in Okada. They could tell that story there too. Again, Okada Naito. Rivals that they can do it. Jay White, you could do Jay White, Naito, Jay White, and Sonata. Jay White's always been like one of those guys that beat kind of like Sonata type of thing. Jay White, Tanahashi, that could be potential. They've had feuds. So there is a lot of potential here. See, now this is hard. I made this a lot harder than it needs to be. A lot harder than it needs to be. Holy fuck off. Oh my God. Yeah, holy shit. I knew it. I can't predict the finals. I can't predict the finals. This is really hard. The more I think of it, I'm like, fuck. Like I said, it's hard. It is. This is tricky. It's very tricky to kind of pick a winner here. Yeah, I can't have a final prediction because there's just so many options here. Like I said, there's 8 options. I have 8 people that could win this easily. I just hope for this year's G1 they do something different and shocking. I don't want the Tanahashi wins or Okada wins. Again, although Naito would make a lot more sense, I would prefer Naito than Okada Tanahashi. I don't want to see Naito win a third G1 either. I would like something different. I would like to see I don't mind seeing Bushi win again because I want him to win the world title. I would like if Shingo won. I would not complain. Minoru Suzuki is a guy, in my opinion, I think would be the biggest shocker. I think he deserves to be in the main event of a Tokyo Dome and win the World Heavyweight Championship. If Suzuki was not the never openweight champion, but then again, he could lose the never openweight champion. Suzuki could lose his never openweight championship. Shingo could pin Suzuki, and Suzuki still wins the G1. And they do Shingo and Suzuki. Shingo beats Suzuki for the never openweight title. But they could build Suzuki back up all the way till January for him to win the title. They could still do that too. Like, now that's possibly 9. That's 9. It's hard. This is super hard. I hate pitching, but this is what I love. This is what I love about the G1. There are so many potential winners in this match. So it's just going to come down to what you guys think because this is really hard. I'm not going to lie. But I know AEW Diamonds could come on a little bit later, so I better go ahead and get ready. But I figured I'd kind of give my thoughts about this. Like I said, this is a stacked card. This might be the best G1 they've done in a long time. I'm not saying G1s have been bad, but there have been some matches you can kind of skip at Participants. But this is a very stacked G1, so I'm really looking forward to see what they do here with this G1. So again, that's next weekend, starting next weekend. So I'm definitely looking forward to G1 this year. It's going to be blast. I wish the G1 was this weekend. I really wish it was, but we have to wait another weekend. So fuck. But it is what it is. But we got the brackets, we got the participants, and I'm really looking forward to the G1. Again, my favorite tournament of the year. I fucking love the G1. So, again, guys, that's going to be magic for me. I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts about this. So, again, what are your thoughts about this whole bracket? Who do you think is going to be in the finals? Who do you think is going to win the entire thing? Comment down below. Give me your thoughts about that. Again, AEW Dynamite's coming on in a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead